Signs are visible that prices of commodities are skyrocketing across Nigeria. Now, the World Bank and other global financial institutions have warned that the rising food costs is the major factor fueling inflation in the country, since food accounts for about 40% of consumption. In markets across Nigeria, hike in prices of food items is a testimony to that. In this Journalist Hangout Weekend Special, Nigerians are lamenting over the soaring food prices and calling for urgent intervention. Here's a story by TVC News' Abiola Sholanke.
The National Bureau of Statistics says the annual food inflation rate rose for the 24th consecutive month to 20.75% in October from 20.71% in September. This is as a result of further increase in market prices of food items. Prices of food items, commodities and services such as tomato, yam, onion, rice, garri, as well as transportation and fuel have surged, threatening the purchasing power of the average Nigerian. The country is currently battling high inflation rates, slow economic growth, just as unemployment rates remain very high. The question on the lips of many Nigerians is, how did we get here? From the border closure to the COVID-19 pandemic, rising insecurity and civil unrest, many factors have been blamed for the skyrocketing prices of food items. Others, like government's economic policies, devaluation of naira, prices of fuel and higher taxes, are what many believe to be responsible for the economic downturn in the country. As one of the biggest markets in the state, it is known for flexibility in terms of the cost of major food items. Here, food items are generally perceived to be cheaper when compared to other markets.
Na tetashe be this. Na 9,000 they said. 9,000. Last month, 11,000, 10,000. I they said last month.
During my survey at the markets, I came across Jane Francis, who lamented about the price of food items. Jane lives in Niger, which is about 48 kilometers away from my 12. She's here to get things at cheaper rates, but she says the difference is not so much.
What they are selling in my environment, I live in Niger actually, but what they are selling there is extremely too high. So I just decided to come to my 12 market today. Maybe there will be a difference. But on getting here now, I believe that there is just a little difference. Because even the cost of transportation for them moving it from here down to Aja is so expensive. Calling a basket of tomato for 20,000-30,000 naira, how do we explain it in this nation, Nigeria? What can we say? Are we going to eat only pepper and tomato? Come and see just small quantity of onion.
Jane explained that it has affected her own income badly.
When I'm coming home for holiday, how would it not affect me? How much is my salary? How much is my salary? And if I'm using like half of it to buy things, to stock things home for just 1 weekend or 2 weekends, how do we explain it? And we are saying Nigeria is better. Which one is better in this Nigeria now?
Ibrahim Usman is an onion seller who laments high cost of food items.
Pride that our people met at the farm. That's what we determine what we are going to sell. For example, day before yesterday that we sent money to farm. 2 weeks ago, we bought it at the rate of 28 for farm, 30,000. But on Monday that we sent money to them, we were told that the price has increased. That's why we don't have much honor on the ground now. So which has effects in the price.
He says the high cost of perishable foods has eroded their profit margin.
There's nothing like profit again. Because how much from the farm? How much am I selling it? If you too hard money to eat too much, it will cost. You understand? If you too hard money to eat, people will be complaining. And we want just to sell it out, because if it is delay on counter, it will be rotting. We're making loss. So that's as at now, no profit. We are just selling it for people. If we are going to sell the rate to make gain, the price will have increased to 50, 60. That's why we can get our own gain.
Abu Bala is a tomato seller. He gives his own reason for the rise of price of commodities in the market.
They are saying in the north now, they say there's no basket. I don't understand. Because empty basket before, we are buying 200 for here. I don't understand. But now, we are buying basket now, 500 naira for here. But at North now, they say they are selling basket 1,000 naira. And this basket is from Igbo land they are going to bought it. So we don't know the argument that's between Igbo with Hausa. We are now for Harmattan time. Tomato must cheap before. Before now, this basket now, by this time around is 10,900, 9,000, 8,000 when Harmattan has come. But now, they are complaining about the basket.
On his part, Emeka John sells grain at the market. He took us through the prices of foodstuff since the beginning of the year.
Like the big one, 27,000 naira for a bag. While the small one, foreign rice, we sell it for 26,000, 25,500. It depends the quality. While in Nigeria, we have 24,000, 23,000. So we sold it about 31,000, 30,000. But now the price is dropping down gradually. While the small one, we sold it 28,000. Nigeria, 25,000. Like now, the bag of white beans now is 62,000. As was then, that last month, we sell it about 70,000, 72,000. While Olotu beans now is 60,000, 600 naira. Last 2 months, 80,000 naira for a bag.
Traders here at the popular Ojoba market in the heart of Akure, Ondo State capital, are not happy at this moment. This is as a result of low patronage by people who patronize the markets. The high inflation rate is no doubt making them to complain as prices of foodstuff are on the increase. With Christmas around the corner, these traders hope that things will get better.
Of rice before is 30,000, between 28,000, 29 and 30,000, but now it's 32,000. The carton of granite soil is around 12,000, 10,000 before. Now it's 14,400. The bag of beans before is around 45, but now it's around 48, even more expensive than before.
Although gone are the days, by this time market normally boom more than this now. So at least the thing we are buying now is more expensive than what we are buying before. So and that is that causes why the market is slow for now. At least you can meet me now. Just imagine December is around the corner. See me, I'm the only one staying here. At least if it's gone at the days, people will be rushing. How much is this? How much is that? So on and so forth.
The story is not different with consumers who are also complaining about rising cost of food items.
The price is on the high place. Everything now we are buying is on the high price. If you want to buy ordinary, what's it called, ginger, that is 15 naira. 15 naira, you can't even get it. It's 100 naira now. The fish are expensive. Rice, we don't even talk about that.
Things are just too expensive. When you leave the house, let me go and buy something. Maybe you want to buy two, or maybe you want to buy three things. At the end of the day, you end up buying just one thing, going back home, because things are just too expensive. They're on the high side.
The people hope that things will get better soon. In Kano State, Northwest, Nigeria, the prices of staple food items at the famous Dawanau market differs in terms of color, state of origin, among others. We visited the market to have a rundown of prices of the items. The chairman of foodstuff seller at millet, sorghum, maize and gari section of Dawanau market, Yahya Al-Hazan, and the trader Mustafa Hamad threw light on the current prices.
Shugaban masu da kayan abinci na wani bangare abin da ya shafi wake, gero, dawa, gari.
The beans differ in prices. The white wine is sold between 35,000 per bag, 37,000, and there is red one which goes for 42,000 per bag. The prices rise and fall. Gari is being sold 12,000 and the smaller bag 10,000 naira. Maize goes for 19,500 naira per bag. Millet, 21,000.
The World Bank has warned that food inflation will continue to rise in Nigeria unless factors responsible for disruption of food production in the nation's food production belt, including insecurity, are addressed. For now, Nigerians are going through hellish times as the price of every conceivable food items has gone up geometrically. With the situation tilting towards growth, many are hopeful that inflation figure will drop to a single digit, which was last recorded in January 2016 at 9.62%. Abiola Sholanke, TVC News, Lagos.
If you still don't like this report, I'm sorry, there's no how I can help you. This is reality on ground. We took time out to go across the country to do a kind of comparative analysis of what is happening in the markets. So we're moving towards Yuletide, and our people are expected to be shopping, buying, and doing a lot of this stuff for Christmas and the festivities.
But the purchasing power of Nigerians has been eroded significantly by rising food prices. People must survive, people must eat, but because of all kinds of disruptions to food production, especially in our country's major food production belt, which is the northwest and north central, we are facing serious problems. Prices of food items are going up because farmers are finding it difficult to access their farms. Bandits are imposing levies on farmers. Bandits are determining when you can even go to your farm. So it's like the sort of thing
you pay again.
You pay. And when they refuse to pay, they will come and slaughter them. So it's terrible. And the World Bank is warning that we have to fight food insecurity through targeted social assistance and insurance. They are also saying that the country needs to avoid trade barriers and improving access to finance, seed, stocks, insecticide, fertilizer. We can provide all of that for our people, for our farmers. But how about them having access to those farms? If they can't have access to those farms because of insecurity, at the end of the day, we will achieve nothing. That's what we are seeing. And if government has come up with intervention schemes meant to improve production of rice, for example, the Anchor Bros program comes to mind. How come we are still selling local rice at 25,000? Because the way to measure the success of these intervention schemes is through pricing. If the prices are still rising, then the efforts have failed.
Have been defeated.
The whole purpose has been defeated if the prices are still rising. So I just don't understand. We've got to be able to say, yes, there is Nigeria now, we are the #1 producer of rice in the continent. How much are we selling it in our country? 25,000 on the average for a local bag of rice? Even some years back, we were not buying imported at that rate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy the way everything is just going up. And there are some evil Nigerians who go and buy off the farmers in their farms and then go and hide these things, stock them somewhere, hoping that the price will go up. Those are the people that the president describes as middlemen. We've got to also try to identify these people and deal decisively with them because they are contributing to the problem that we have.
So there are government interventions. Yes, central bank has, especially in agriculture. But part of the problem is that is the intervention really working? I don't think so. A lot of people claim to be farmers or to be involved in agriculture just for them to be able to access such interventions, and they are not really farmers. So it's another way of making money to some people.
Some of them are even farmers.
That's part of the problem.
They've not been able to go to their farms, access
but
their farms.
That's the major problem. The main reason for increase in prices of foodstuff has to do with security. We are looking at effect. It's important for us to look at the cost. The cost is the banditry and insecurity that don't allow our farmers to access their farms. And if there is it's demand and supply, if you don't have enough foodstuffs, the prices will go up. It's a simple thing. So we have to come back to the same insecurity. Government has to solve the problem of insecurity in the country because it has a way of affecting different sectors of the economy.
All right. We have joining us the president of Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, Emmanuel Onora. He joins us live via Zoom for more on this discussion. Thank you for joining us, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Ayo.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me this afternoon. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, BKO. And thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Emmanuel, how much are you selling a loaf of bread now? The standard loaf?
Oh, well, it depends on the loaf and the size that you are referring to. We have different variants of bread. For instance, the normal family size bread, which is the regular one that we slice and eat every morning in our homes, that one goes for the minimum is, I think, 400 naira. Then there's a max of between 500 and 600, and in some extreme cases, 700, depending on the brand quality and the market trust of the bread in question.
Okay, the bread, that family size bread, sometime last year, I was buying it for 250 naira.
Family size bread.
The family size bread. Today, it's being sold in Akute, where I live, for 750 naira. What is responsible for this huge jump from 250 naira within a year to 750?
BKO, it's a no-brainer. Even we as bakers, we are suffering. You know, we are suffering. The reason why the bread you are eating today has increased, especially for premium bread, is because there has been a torrential increase in the prices of baking material. For your information, know it that all our inputs in bread making, all of it, are mostly imported into this country. You know, so once there is volatility in the FX market, and this thing affects the supply chain and dovetails into increase in price for the people that are importing into the country, then there's going to be a backflow to us. And then what do? You know, you weigh your costing and look at it. Of course, we are operating a perfect market in bread making, and then you try to pass on the cost just minutely. What you are seeing as cost of bread today is not the actual cost. Let me be very factual with you, because if we want to sell bread the way it is, the average, the normal sliced bread should be going for maybe 700 naira. But on our own part as Nigerians, we know that there are challenges everywhere. So we are trying to ensure that we work within what people can afford in Nigeria. So that's it basically.
But it keeps rising. Is there nothing that can be done? Because to move from 250 to 750 is crazy.
That's 100%.
Like I told you, 250 to 750, it depends on the bread you are talking about. I've told you that there are different categories of sliced bread, and there are different weights. If you look at them, some of them are a regular 700 pack size bread. Of course, we go for 400 naira. You know, it comes in grammage. Then if it cascades to become 800, you now begin to get it at between 450 and 500, depending on the brand equity and then the market trust. You know, some of these breads, some of them have very strong, like the premium bread makers. We have some of the bread that have very strong brand equity and market trust. And then there is a 900 gram pack, which goes for as much as maybe 650, 750, depending on, like I told you, the market, the market trust and the brand equity of that particular brand that we are talking about. So it's not all the bread that are 750. So just say cascade it from maybe between 400 to 600.
Let's talk about the inputs and how the prices of inputs are rising. Specifically now, so speak to those inputs in bread production.
Well, you know, when I talk about the inputs in bread making, it bothers one because we are all Nigerians, you know, and we have brothers and sisters that eat bread. Let me just give you an instance. Between last year and between January this year and now, the price of flour in January this year was 10,300. Today, it is going for about 21,000, in some places 21,500. That's about 100% increase in that price. Sugar was 13,600. Today, sugar is 22,000 naira. Softener that we were buying for 300,000 for a 25 kg a drum, it's now going for 600,000. A yeast that we're buying for 5,000 naira, it's now going for 80,000. In some cases, the high net worth brands are going for 20,000 naira. Then you talk about diesel. You know, we run mechanized bakeries. We use a bit of electricity and diesel to do the most of our baking. Most of our ovens are being fired by diesel. Diesel at the beginning of this year was how much? About 190 naira. So but today diesel is 340, 350, and that is how the input has increased cumulatively from the premium bread makers. Our input has increased by 153%. But in the real sense of it, we have only been able to increase prices by 17%. So you can see the disparity, and that is why you see bakeries are closing in droves. About 40% of my members are closing shop, and it comes with attendant job losses. Job losses comes with exacerbation in insecurity and all that. And people that are even operating, most people are now operating at maybe 50% capacity, because one, the expendable income in people's pockets is being eaten deep into by inflation. Due to post-COVID, there are no jobs for so many people, and then there is no money in people's pockets. You understand? So look at it. It's a tough time for us as premium bread makers. It's a very torrid time. I use my own bakery as an example. It's very, very tough. You know, between last year and now, this financial year, you look at it. People are losing maybe sometimes 40 million, 50 million. You are even augmenting to continue to sustain production unknowingly until you call in your consultant, your finance consultant, to come and look at what you are doing. That is when you begin to look at the figures. We are hemorrhaging, we are bleeding, and in the midst of all this, you know, the government is not even helping. You understand? The government is not helping. Even the state government is not helping. For instance, in Lagos State, we have more than multi-agency regulation. We have about 13 of 15 agencies regulating us. For instance, you have the Ministry of Environmental Development charge from the Ministry of Environment. You have the sign and post. You have the vehicle branding. You have the space permits. You have the food handlers. You have the food permits. You have off and on. You have parking permits. You have TV and radio license. You have LGA annual papers. And then in between now, they have introduced one again. They call them media. I don't know where those is coming. This is Lagos State for you. There is the federal government. There is LASMA. There is VIO. There is Federal Fire Service. All these in just a loaf of bread. All of them come with their own baggage of problems to you. There's the Lagos Safety Commission. And as an association, you know, we are in the situation where we are almost gone bust. Recently, 3 months ago, we wrote to Mr. Governor complaining about the problem we are facing as an association. Precisely on 14th, I submitted the letter myself at Alausa. I made sure that it was stamped and everything. Till today, as we speak, my brother, nobody from the Lagos State government has been able to get across to us. Last week here, we issued a statement signed by myself and the PRO. What are we issuing this statement for? We issued this statement so that we call the attention of the state government that look at the kind of suffering we are passing through as bakers in Lagos State, because very soon, because of the way they are charging, or the prices of bread are going to go up again. Up till now, as I speak to you, Mr. The letter was received by them. They've not been able to talk. They've not been able to call us to say, look, what is it that is your problem from Lagos State here? What is it that you are suffering? You know, we even did a press conference. It was, the press release was everywhere. We made sure that it went online.
Let's allow me ask
sir, I've listened to you. So what do you think can be done to reduce the price of bread? What are the things that can be done that will make it possible for bread makers to reduce the price of bread?
Okay, first off, Mayor, let me just finish. Please, just give me this time to finish this. You know, like I was telling you, this whole thing comes, there's a build-up to the whole thing. You understand? I'll come back to that question and answer it. So, till now, nobody from the Lagos State government has been able to call us and say, look, you are engaging us. And the moment we go out there and say we want to protest, they will come and say these people are opposition and all that. No. You understand? So, let the Lagos State government know that we are suffering.
So what can be done? You just want the Lagos State government to know that you are suffering?
Yes.
So what can be done? What are the things that you think can be done for you to be able to reduce the price?
At least the prices shouldn't be rising the way they are rising.
One, let me say this. Due to the intervention of our association, Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, and the Master Bakers, we've been engaging the federal government at that level. We've been engaging the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and the millers, because we complained seriously to the federal government, and the federal government, through the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear you. Keep talking.
Okay. So the federal government, we met with federal government 1, 2, 3 times with the millers. We complained seriously about the prices of flour. There is a particular levy they call Wheat Development Levy, which is 15% of the amount that they pay on wheat import. This levy was introduced in 2012 by the Jonathan administration as a way to support the government's in-country capacity in wheat production. That was supposed to last for about 2 years, and then it ceases. But up till now, the federal government is still taking that money, that levy from wheat imports. In fact, the millers are paying about 30% on wheat importation, and we are telling the federal government, please, can you remove this 15% from the wheat import from the millers? If you do that, it will now lessen pressure on them. I think this will help to stabilize and maybe practically reduce the price of bread, because flour and sugar are our major inputs. Both of them constitute close to 75% of our inputs into bread making.
I want to thank you. Mr. Emmanuel Onora is the president of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, for that insight into what is happening in that industry. And what can we say? People eat bread a lot in Nigeria. That's a major staple.
Yes, because
I think after rice, bread is probably
something that's
food that goes around.
That family size, I pray it doesn't get to 1,000 naira.
No, the rate is going, because if I was buying it at 250 sometime last year, and it's moved from 250 to 750, then one should be really concerned. And just as he said, the key inputs in bread production, the prices are going up. If we can't keep those prices down, there's no way, even in the next few months, the price of bread won't go up again.
That's why maybe I would suggest government intervention in that sector. Government can assist maybe by reducing whatever
it can't just be that sector
wheat. Since wheat, sorry?
We can't just be that sector alone. We are talking about,
because we are still talking,
we are buying a crate of egg now for 200 naira.
Because
one egg now that used to be 20 naira for 100 naira.
We are talking for security now. It is the government cannot afford the Nigerian people to go hungry. You understand?
Yeah, okay.
And bread is a staple food for a lot of people. Apart from rice, just as there was federal government had this massive intervention into rice production. You understand? They should consider something like that when it comes to bread. I'm not saying that they should give them money, but they can, through tax relief, they can bring down the cost of flour, which seems to be like the major input into the production of bread.
We are not producing enough flour here.
No, we are not.
So some of what they use would have to be imported. Now, if the government does not ease the burden on importers, then the price will continue to go up. It will definitely continue to go up.
I think we
and
have
then, of
with
course,
our flour mills here.
They are not producing. They are not producing enough.
But they cannot. They are not producing
They
enough. We have a
demand.
We were talking. It's the same
those
thing.
are even rice. Rice too. We are not producing enough.
Rice, yes.
We are not producing enough to feed them.
Nigeria is doing a lot when it comes to rice, but it's just that we have about 200 million population, so the quantum of food that you need is huge. So that's the problem. It's not as if.
And then forex. Just as he said, the bulk of what they use are imported. And we have seen the Naira slides dangerously against the dollar.
Yeah.
There's no way to not affect the...
In fact, that's what is affecting it.
Jide, are we saying at the end of the day we might have to do something about our population?
No, we can't do past that. We can't do something about that.
To do with the population.
There's nothing we can do about that.
I even think that the population figure of Nigeria is exaggerated.
I believe so too.
Really? We are not up to 200 million.
We are not 200 million.
I can bet with my
We are not up to 200 million.
We are not up to 200 million. It's just an estimated...
Because the last time we did census, we were
2006.
Huh? The last time we did census, we were 70 million.
It's going to be 10 years.
And I don't think...
It's estimated... It's not a product of census.
Yes, we've not done census in a long time.
Yes, since 2006. 2006, we've not done
census. Next year's budget.
The thing is estimated, but it is clear that we are not that many. I know that we are not that many.
But we have, this is a huge country with a large population.
Maybe in the region of 120, 140. I don't think that we are up to 200 million.
But even that, that population is still huge. To take care of such population,
we have pressure on our infrastructure. We have several other factors.
But what do we do? Population growth is also a key factor in economic growth. There are countries of the world that, because you need to have
we're not leveraging on our population.
You see, if a country like Russia, for example, they are even giving their people incentive to procreate, to have children. They are giving even France too. They are giving people incentive because people get married and they tell themselves that they are not going to have children.
To enjoy ourselves.
You know, population. If you have a huge population,
China
is an asset.
Now, yes,
it's an asset.
You know, before China was paying people to say you must not have more than a child. Now they've changed that policy. Yes, they've changed that policy now because also they need more people to be able to meet up with the economic growth that's happening in China.
And the same thing in Germany. That's why they are even looking for laborers from Africa and other places, Germany, Canada. You know,
Canada,
they are looking for workers. They are working class.
I think they have aging.
It's aging. Yeah, no, the working class is aging, so they need to freshen it up by bringing in
look at the number of our
young people. We are encouraging our people to come into their country and help in the big corporations.
Because of this COVID that has kind of slowed some people down. Some people I know that to part of their 2022 projection is to leave the country.
That will solve the problem.
Fast.
That will solve the problem.
With all the insecurity,
because there are no jobs in those places that are going to. I can tell you that for free. That won't solve the problem. Anytime you travel out of the country, a lot, you will see that there are no, it's not as if it's easy. The jobs that are available are just jobs that you just get by.
But if you tell a young man,
you don't need to leave your country because of that.
If you tell a young man now, we want to go to Canada, you want to go to America. If you have a good job here, you will leave.
I tell people,
they said no,
if they make the kind of effort they make outside the country, if they make such efforts here, they will succeed. There, people do multiple jobs. People do many jobs that they will not touch here.
Because there are jobs available.
So many people are not taxed enough here.
So many people
over
want to work here.
They almost kill you with
yes, so many people want to work here. But where are the jobs?
Unemployment is now around 45%.
I agree that unemployment is a major problem. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, too, people have to be creative. People have to be creative because there was a time, for example, I can't see why a young viral man cannot be an Uber driver.
It's not dangerous to be anyone that they're killing them.
You don't need to. No, that's exceptional cases. You can't sit in your house and say there are no jobs when you can be an Uber driver, for example.
Wow.
Where you can go into farming, for example.
Yes. Government also needs to encourage young people to go into farming. Give them incentive.
That's what. But yes, but the central bank did that. We have a lot of interventions, but it didn't really work.
No,
because the young people don't really like farming. That's the reality.
They want mechanized
they just want money.
They want.
They don't really like farming.
You know,
farming is interesting, but it's a lot of work.
Senator Judu wanted to. He told the story of how he tried to attract one of these government intervention in agric to his constituency when he was a senator. They abused the hell out of him, that he should bring his own children to go and farm. You know, they abused the hell out of him. All they want is, okay, take the 10,000 naira and keep. That's what they want. But there was someone trying to get...
You know, when we were growing up, there was a time in
get
Nigeria,
them go to farming and make money.
We have people doing apprenticeship, you have people organizer, you have people panel beater, you have
now
workshop,
people would rather be riding Okada.
No, because our priorities are, the priority is different now, because we've lost our values. Before, people value hard work and good name. If you get involved in crime, even members of your family will be against you. Now, the thinking for our young people is just for you to make it, no matter how you make it.
Yahoo.
So when the society accepts that as being the norm, why should our young people want to work? Because when you want to be a farmer, the intervention is still there. Even out of all the loans that you can get in a bank, it's the agric loan that is the cheapest. It's the cheapest. And there's a lot of things, but the problem is that a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of our young people don't want to really do the hard work that comes with farming.
They rather do Yahoo. And all our artisans, you know, these days you are building a house, you go and bring people from Togo, people from Benin Republic. Yes. Our people, they are not ready
because
for
we've lost that. You know, before there's a chain that produces people like that. You know, people that
I can tell you that there are some of them artisans who have given it up and they are now riding Okada.
Yeah.
Bricklayers who have given it up, tilers they are now riding Okada.
Now bring tilers from Togo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we used to have them in abundance.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But no, people don't want to do such things anymore.
It comes to with hard work. If you want to do your POP, for example, and you bring in people from Republic of Benin or Republic of Togo, they will come in, camp in that building, and do a good job for you. But if you want to get your own people to do it, they don't want to do that hard work. That's the problem.
We have to leave it there. We have to leave